Ad Astra es tu primera película de ciencia ficción, llega después de otra gran película como fue Z, la ciudad perdida. Como director, ¿cuál ha sido tu mayor reto? ¿Perderte en la selva amazónica o viajar hasta Neptuno?
It's a great question. Uh, the jungle was physically more difficult, but to try and create the space, to try and create the moon, to try and create a whole world and to establish that world when nothing exists of it, I found that harder in the end, a greater challenge, because you're essentially starting with basically a large box, a large room, a black box, and you have to fill it up. The other thing that's very challenging is that actors use the environment. When you rob the actor of an environment with which to work, if you're in the jungle, you can use it. It can stimulate you. If you have nothing, the director has to help. So I found this in the end to be more difficult. More rewarding, by the way, but more difficult.
Ad Astra es una gran aventura espacial, pero su verdadero motor, su verdadera esencia está en lo íntimo, en esa relación padre-hijo, en las dudas del protagonista, ¿no?
We thought that the contrast between the intimate and going to the end of the solar system was hopefully what would give the intimate more weight, more power. It is possible, of course, to make an extremely intimate movie in an intimate setting. But our experiment was to try to do both and to see if the contrast would heighten even further, in a way, the tiny conflict within Roy. So when he goes to the edge of Neptune and has to confront, I don't want to give spoilers, but has to confront this, we thought that maybe it would have more power given how intimate it was against this vast canvas.
Y en este sentido, quería preguntarle por el trabajo con Brad Pitt, porque creo que fue muy colaborativo, que aportó ideas y sobre su personaje y sobre esos temas íntimos que se tratan en la película.
Yeah, absolutely. But you want that. You want to give the actor freedom and room to create. There's no... The whole idea is to destroy the wall between the actor and the character, the actor in the movie, the director in the movie, so that the audience can witness the interior life, not just of the character, but of the actor, that becomes the same thing. And that's part of what you have to do, is you have to try to expose yourself. The only way to do that is to get the most intimate form of collaboration where you're engaging with the actor and the actor is engaging with you. And Brad is this mythic figure, movie star, but that he was willing to do that with me is quite extraordinary, really.
Teniendo en cuenta la premisa de la que parte la película, le quería preguntar si cree que nuestro futuro, como especie, el futuro del ser humano, está más allá de este planeta, está ahí arriba en el espacio.
No, I think the opposite. I don't think that there's any plausible scenario anytime soon where the human race can set up a life on planet, 792-31 or something. There's no plausible scenario where we're going to be able to exist off the Earth, which is why our current situation is so fraught, it's so dangerous. Because there's nothing else there may be intelligent life out there, but we can't communicate with it clearly because we haven't heard from it and it hasn't heard from us. And if it does exist, it's probably so far away we'll never be able to reach it. So if that's the case, we are, for all intents and purposes, alone, and we can't exactly breathe out there. We need the earth. This is what we have. That's okay, by the way. I think that's okay, but we have to protect it and not destroy it.
Y ya para terminar, hemos hablado del futuro de la humanidad. Le quería preguntar por el futuro del cine. ¿Cómo es el futuro del cine ahora con la irrupción de Netflix, con el boom del streaming?
There's two possibilities with cinema. We are going through a phase, and we emerge in some amazing way, and the theatrical business gets reinvigorated. If we were sitting here in 1960 and we were obsessed, let's say we were in the United States, and we watched only American movies. Within 7 or 8 years in the United States, there was an explosion of international cinema into the country. There was an explosion of unique and interesting American cinema, and the cinema got revitalized. What is also possible, maybe that's facing us, what is also possible is that Netflix and streaming is the wave of the future completely, and the idea that you sit in a theater with a huge group of people is over. Then the cinema's history would be more like the history of opera, which all of a sudden sort of weirdly ceased to exist around 1935. So I don't know which one is the answer. I do think Netflix is doing extraordinary work now with amazing directors. I mean, when you see people like Alfonso Cuarón or Martin Scorsese making films for Netflix, you have to pay attention.